Hey everyone, welcome to the first video of Intermediate. In this video we're going to mostly be talking about reference gathering, and I'll give you a couple of advice on what you should be looking for and how you should be looking. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So once you have a rough idea of what you want to recreate or what you want to create, so I advise just following everything I do so that we can move along together. So in this course we're going to be recreating an environment, and we're going to model a specific object, and that object will be our main character or our main subject. I already have something for an idea of what we can recreate, but before we go ahead and put different ideas together, let me walk you through downloading one application I use a lot when it comes to reference gathering, and the name of that application is called PureRef. So just come to your browser and type in pure spacebar ref, right, and navigate to this first link and left click on this link, and then click on get PureRef, and they have different options for personal, business, small business, and business. We're going to be using it for personal, so just make sure you have personal selected. Come to Windows, and if you have a Mac you can come to Mac and select what OS you're using. You can come to Linux, but we'll be using for Windows obviously. This is for Windows 10 and plus, so just know that if you're on Windows, if you're on an older version of Windows which I'm sure most of you are not, just keep that in mind that this is for Windows 10 and plus. You can decide to donate. These guys are really cool, so I advise if you have any spare cash, you should donate. You should definitely donate. You can, in case you it's showing our checkout to be $20 or $15. So what you can do is you can come to custom amount and type in zero, and then you'd see that it changes to free. So just have that in mind. Just click download, and yeah, your download should start. And yeah, this is our download, and you can go ahead and download this. I already have PureRef, so I won't be downloading it, but once you download the app, just follow the on-screen instructions to install the app, and you're most likely going to have an app like this. Left click on the maximize button, you have something like this. For you to leave this full view mode, just right click on your anywhere in PureRef and drag. You should quickly throw you out of that full screen mode. It's basically, I would say, it's the best software out there when it comes to gathering information, gathering references. And the reason why we're going through this step is eventually when you become a full-blown 3D artist, you have to learn how to plan your scenes properly. You have in bigger production, you have serious pre-production happening. You have character concept sheets, you have concept art, you have previews, you have animatics. So this company is really take that time to do serious pre-production before they start production. So I just want to give you the foundation of that, even though we went through that a little bit in the beginners, but we're going to go a little bit more advanced in this video. If I can have this on the side, and then have this on the side as well, you see why we're doing that in a minute. Let me just reduce the size of this, reduce the size of this. So let's just go back to our Pinterest, and I told you I already have an idea of what we're going to make, which is this guy. I'm thinking we'll make something, but then we're not going to be including the character. We're going to get involved with characters in advance, but for now we're still going to do everything but characters. So once you find your reference, which I said I think we should work on the same thing. So once you find this image, what you can do is just left click and drag. That's the beautiful thing about PureRef. You can just left click and drag into the software, and your image will be there. And yeah, we already have this in our PureRef. I'm going to link this image in a folder so that you'll be able to reference it and not having to scour the entire Pinterest app for this specific image. So I'll put that in a folder somewhere with other resources. Now let's look for a subject we're going to have, because as opposed to this character, I want us to have something here, maybe floating a little bit. So together, let's just look for something we're going to model and have it at the center, or having it as our subject, the subject of our scene. So one thing you should also always remember is you should always have a subject. And if you notice, even though there are kind of two subjects in this scene, but the main subject is this couch, because that's what light is hitting. And also remember that automatically, if there's a human figure in a scene, it naturally draws attention. So that's why you have this person in the background and it's drawing a little bit of attention, but the major thing that is being lit here is the couch. So I would say that this is our major subject. So always remember that you should have a subject in your scene, regardless of what scene you're making. Have a direction, have where because the entire idea of creating images is pointing the viewer's eye to something, right? If the viewer does not have anything to look at, he's going to get really bored, she's going to get really bored. So make sure you always have a subject, basically directing your viewers to that subject. For subjects, I would like us to have something simple, maybe even just the cube and a little bit modified, or a sphere and a little bit modified. But for now, I'm going to search for two images so that we can have something to start with, and then we can make a decision later. Just pick one. This. Okay, yeah, they could do something like this. I like this. This being at the center, I really like this. In fact, I think this is what we'll go for. Yes, I like this. This is what we'll go for as our. We have a different variants. It's always good to have different ideas stacked up, and that way you can make something unique and not just copy and paste your references. So I'm going to go back to my saved reference. Let's just do that real quick. Options, come to my saved reference, and I'm also going to come and pick some ideas that are similar to this, so that we can merge all this into one new concept and one new idea. That's the entire concept of reference gathering. It's you gather references and make a unique image. It's like photo bashing, or mixing different colors together to have a different color. So just go through. I like this lighting, for instance, so we can find a way to integrate this. And Pinterest is just such a wonderful app. You can find all this just by clicking on one of these images, and then you get so much recommendation. So we're just going to find something that is not too complicated. I think I am quite satisfied with these 3 images. Maybe we can look for one more, for maybe lighting reference, maybe, or structural or architectural reference. You can decide to pick different references for different things. For instance, you can say, okay, this is my lighting reference. I really like this image. This is my lighting reference. This is my. I'm just going to move this to the side. I think we can work with this 3. Is there anything else? If I move on, no. So I'm just going to increase this. So I can see this is my lighting reference. This is my what do you call it? My texture. The way the walls and the floors are textured. I could say that this is my texture reference, and then I can say this is my layout reference, right? So it's a beautiful thing. creating time to go through different images and finding what suits you is a very, very beautiful thing, and I do it all the time. I do it every time. So yes, let's just get into that. So for my scene, I want my camera, PureF should have a pen tool, I believe, yeah, a draw tool. So for my scene, I want my camera to be, I want my angle to be like this first image. So one thing I can say for this first image definitely is it is going to be my camera reference. So I can come here and just write cam. Mind me, I'm using my mouse to type that. This can be one of my cam reference. I love the angle and I love the scene layout in general. So we can also say that this is our scene layouts. So you can see SH or SC and then layouts. Yes, so you can have scene layout. What else? I can't really think of anything else, but then we can move on to this. And then one thing I really love with this is the lighting. It's absolutely beautiful. So I can put L-I-G for lights. What else do I like about this? I love the textures, even though I really love the textures of this. So one thing I'm going to do is I also love how wet the floor is. So yeah, the general texture of this environment is something I'm going to take. So also notice that an artist steal, like it's every artist steals. Do not feel some type of way if you're taking other people's art and then inspiring yourself. It is a normal thing. Everybody has done it. Nothing has been made out of thin air. Everybody has something they're referencing, so just always keep that in mind. But where it gets a little bit tricky is you do not completely take everything from just one single art piece. You have to build upon several art pieces for your foundation, and then yeah, like I said, build upon that, as opposed to using one art and then just copying and pasting and maybe changing the lighting or something. Now that is not I would advise against that, because personally you're not really contributing anything back to the community, and then you're also not improving yourself. So get a lot of art pieces, put them together, pick what you like from different art pieces, and then build upon that, right? Like we're doing here. So one thing I like about this is the texture. So what we can do is we can also put TEX, and I should know that should be texture. Really love the texture on this, so we're just going to completely use this kind of texturing. Sorry about that. What do I love about this scene? I think majorly is the lighting. I also love the character, but we're going to be using a cube or a sphere. I'm leaning more towards the cube, and the cube will be animated. So we're not going to be using this kind of reference for now, but the lighting is a must for me. I really love the lighting here. One thing we can also have is this type of floor. So you can see that this floor is a little bit more it's a concrete, looks more like concrete, but this looks more polished. I wouldn't know how to explain that, but when we get into Blender, we would know how we can integrate that. So what we can do is just reference this and put floor. Okay, so we've gotten from this, and from this, generally I just like how the lighting of so I should probably specify the lighting I like from this is the general environment lighting, and how our camera is looking from a dark angle to a well lit angle. So even in lighting, always make sure your camera is in the shadow. Always make sure your camera is looking onto what is most exposed, as opposed to your camera looking from the exposed angle towards a dark or not well lit object. So always make sure your camera is in the dark, or rather in the shadow. So what we can say is that the camera is in the shadow here, and we can steal from that. So we like the lighting, the environment lighting is something we can indoctrinate here. Maybe we'll not have any of this. Maybe I can just X this, and maybe we can have just one of this, maybe just one of this shooting out light to our cube, maybe something like this, right? So we're not going to have this multi-layered one. We can just have one that's shooting light out of our cube, and then we have we have lights coming in from this direction. Should we make it one or two directions? I think we should make it the two direction for symmetry's sake. So our cube here, lights coming in from this direction, one light source. So we are not going to use any of this, just this light source shooting out light to our cube, and yeah, basically indoctrinating. We can say that, okay, we can draw a line and basically indoctrinating this, not indoctrinating, stealing this lighting, the way this environment is lit, and having it as our reference, our main lights reference. So as you can see, I'm just merging different concepts together to make a new concept, right? It's an absolutely beautiful thing, and I love it. I love art. I love art. So for this top-down lighting, we can have this cube. You can see how this cube is lit from the top down. We can have that for our cube here. So we can also come here, come here, and put maybe let me just draw that again. Maybe come here and then draw all the way here, and just draw an arrow and say up subject sub lights lit, rather lig. You can do lit, lig, to be honest, whatever naming convention works for you and for you to remember. So we can have this top-down lighting. I love how this is just it's soft and wonderful and beautiful. So we can now have this cube as our subject. So I'm just going to draw. Maybe for that I can change the color of my draw. Okay, I can just come here, change the color of my draw to red, maybe, and I'm just going to draw this and then link this to this, and then drag this to here, right? Just to remember that this is my subject, and yes, basically we have our reference board. Let's just go over it again. What we absolutely love about this particular art is the camera angle, one, and then the scene layout, basically how everything is laid out, and then the texture. But one thing we're not going to be utilizing is the top-down lights, like how we have different openings lighting it from the top. Our major lights will be from the side, and then one light from the top. What we can also do is just leave a note for ourselves as well, and tell as a reminder to remember not to use this. So we can just maybe link it here and say we've exhausted our space, and say no opening. We're going to put open, and then come here and just one LIG. So let's just have that, so don't forget. Never ever keep a thought to your head. Always write it down somewhere, because I promise you're most likely going to forget. So just to make it look a lot more things clear, I'm just going to reference this more. I'm going to delete this so that we don't get confused about this about that circle. I'm just going to make more circles so that we have an idea what we're referencing. I'm just going to do this. I think kind of struggling because of how dark it is. Should we change it to, let's give it orange maybe, or yellow, just quickly. And that didn't change. And yeah, having this as basically our reference for lights. This is what we're referencing, the lighting from this. So don't worry, I'm going to have this as a project file in the video. I'm going to have this and the pictures as a project file, and you can go ahead and look at what I've put together here, and maybe think about it more. And yeah, see you in the next video. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. We basically just covered reference gathering and planning out our shots. Don't worry, for intermediates we're not even really going to go into things that are too complex. We're just going to cover art direction, because that is my strongest skill. We're just going to cover mostly art direction. I'll show you, obviously we're going to get into more technical tools, but mostly art direction. So yeah, see you in the next class.